Hello Primary 1. To get our Scotland topic started, I'm going to read you a Katie Morag story. I'm sure that some of you will already have read some Katie Morag stories or even watched the television show. For those of you who don't know who Katie Morag is, she is a girl who lives on the Isle of Struay off the west coast of Scotland. There, she lives above the island's only post office and shop. The story we're going to read today is called Katie Morag and the Two Grandmothers. One sunny Wednesday morning, Mrs. McCall woke Katie Morag early. "Hurry up now," she said, drawing back the curtains. "Here comes the boat. Grandma Mainland will be here soon, and you've still got this room to tidy for her." Grandma Mainland lived far away in the big city. She was coming to stay with them for a holiday. Katie Morag went with her other grandmother, Granny Island, who lived just across the bay, to meet the boat. "My, you're still a wee bobby dazzler," said Neilybeg, as he helped Grandma Mainland down. Granny Island revved the engine very loudly. Burrum, burrum, burrum. Katie Morag watched fascinated as Grandma Mainland unpacked. "Do you like this new hat I bought for show day, Katie Morag?" Grandma Mainland said. "Ugh, her and her fancy ways," muttered Granny Island to herself. Show day was always a big event on the island of Struay. At the post office, Mr. and Mrs. McCall were rushed off their feet. "Look where you are going," shouted Mrs. McCall as Katie Morag tripped over baby Liam. "Katie Morag, I think you'd be better off helping Granny Island get Alakina ready for the show," sighed Mr. McCall. Alakina was Granny Island's prize sheep. She'd won Best Stew and Fleece Trophy for the past 7 years. But she was getting old, and everyone said that Neilybeg's April Love would win this year. Katie Morag ran as fast as she could past the show field, where frantic last-minute preparations were in progress, and on to Granny Islands, in order to give Alakina an extra special brush and comb before the judging started. But when Katie Morag arrived at Granny Islands, Alakina was up to her horns in the boggy loch. "A whole hillside to eat, and she wants to eat that blade of grass," cried Granny Island in a fury. "Look at your fleece, and today of all days, you old devil," ranted Granny Island when they eventually got Alakina out of the boggy loch. "We'll never get these peaty stains out in time for the show." "Grandma Mainland has some stuff to make her hair silvery white," said Katie Morag thoughtfully. Everyone looked in amazement as Granny Island's old tractor and trailer hurtled past the show field, heading for the post office. "We'll be too late," grumbled Granny Island. Fortunately, no one was about when they got home, since Mrs. McCall would certainly not have approved of this. Or this. And Granny Mainland would have been furious at this. Not to mention this. But all ended well. They managed to get tidied up and back to the show field just in time for the judging, and at the sight of Alakina's shiny coat and curls, the judges were in no doubt as to who should win the silver trophy again this year. That evening there was a party at Granny Islands to celebrate. "My, but Thorn old you is still some beauty for her age," said Neilybeg. "Just like yourself, Grandma Mainland. How do you do it?" "Ah, that's my secret," said wee Grandma Mainland, fluttering her eyelashes. Katie Morag and Granny Island smiled at each other. They knew some of her secrets, but they would never tell. And Granny Island never frowned at Grandma Mainland's fancy ways ever again. I wonder why. I hope you enjoyed that story, Primary 1. We'll have a little follow-up activity for later in the week, and we'll also be looking at some more Katie Morag stories too. Speak to you later.